Hello Primary 6. Today we are going to talk about the cell as a system. Let's start. Can anyone tell me what are the living organisms? Think more. Super. The living organisms, any organisms which can grow, can move, can breathe. Can anyone give me any example for any living organism? Super boy. Living organisms like plants, animals, and humans. Can anyone tell me what does the wall consist of? Super. The wall consists of many bricks. What about your body? What does your body consist of? Super. Your body consists of many cells. So, can anyone describe what are the cells? The cells are tiny particles. So, if we have something which is tiny, can we see it by our eyes? No, we cannot see the cells by our eyes. So, we need a microscope to see it. As we said, that most of the cells are tiny, so we need a microscope to see them. But we have an example for a cell that we can see it by our eyes, like the unfertilized egg. Look at these pictures. Can you guess or can you tell me what's the difference between the unfertilized egg and the fertilized egg? Super. The unfertilized egg like the egg that we eat it, but the fertilized egg like the egg that give us the chick. Do you think that all living organisms have the same number of cells in their bodies? Definitely no. The living organisms are divided into two types according to their number of cells. We have some living organisms that consist of one cell, and some living organisms which are consist of many cells. Can anyone give me any example for a living organism that has many cells? Super, like the human body. What about the living organisms that has only one cell? Super, like the bacteria. I have a question for you. Can anyone tell me, is bacteria living or non-living organism? Super, the bacteria is living organism. Do you think that bacteria has one cell or many cells? Super, the bacteria has only one cell. Look at this picture. Can anyone tell me how can the living organisms grow? Super, by increasing the number of the cells. So if we have one cell, this cell is divided into two cells, and these two cells are divided into many cells, and so on. In order to grow, what are the needs of the cell? The cell needs food, nutrients, oxygen, and water to stay alive and to get the energy to grow. All cells should have a cell membrane to surround its components. But the plant cell has an extra membrane which is called cell wall. Look here in these pictures. Can you guess that we can find the nucleus inside all types of the cells? Super! Not all the types of the cells have nucleus inside it. As we said before, that each cell needs water to grow. But how does the cell get its need of water? Water enters the cell through membrane that surrounds the cell, known as the cell membrane. What if there is much water enters the cell? It will swell until it bursts. Do you know the name of the scientist who invented the microscope? Think more. Super! The microscope was invented by Robert Hooke. Why did he need the microscope? Super! He needed to see the smallest parts inside the plant. So he invented the microscope, and then he observed that there are some tiny particles inside the plant. He named them cells. Look at this picture. Can anyone tell me what's the structure of the microscope? Yes, super. The microscope consists of eyepiece to look through it, a stage to fix the slide on it, a mirror to collect the light and reflect it, a stage clip to fix the slide, an arm to hold the microscope by it, a coarse focus to magnify the picture, and objective lenses, and a base. Look here, can anyone tell me how many types of objective lens do we have? Yes, super, we have two types of objective lens, low power objective lens and high power objective lens. Look here in the first picture. Can you guess what's the importance of low power objective lens? Yes, super. We use it if you want to see the cells in small size. What about the high power objective lens? What's the importance of the high power objective lens? Super. We use the high power objective lens if you want to see the cells in bigger size. Now we are going to prepare a slide of the plant cell to see it under the microscope. What are the tools that we needed? Number 1, we need onion. Number 2, we need forceps. Number 3, we need dropper. Number 4, we need glass slide and cover slip. Now we are going to prepare the slide. Number 1, we use the forceps to separate the cell membrane of one of the onion pieces. Number 2, we will put this cell membrane on the glass slide. Number 3, by using the dropper, we will add a drop of water on the cell membrane. Number 4, we will cover this slide with the cover slip, and then we will put it under the microscope to see the cells. As we said before, that all living organisms consist of cells. But do you think that all living organisms have the same number of cells? Think more. Super girl! The living organisms are divided into two types: unicellular organisms, which are the organisms that their bodies consist of one cell only, like the bacteria, and multicellular organisms, which are living organisms that their bodies consist of many cells, like humans, plants, and animals. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think that bacteria are unicellular or multicellular organisms? Think, think more. Super. Bacteria are unicellular organisms. Do you know why? Super, because their bodies consist of one cell only. What about the horse? Is the horse unicellular or multicellular organism? Super, the horse is multicellular organism. Do you know why? Super, because its body consists of many cells. Now we are going to talk about the structure of human body. Are you ready? Let's start. If I asked you, what does the human body consist of? Super. The human body consists of many systems, like the digestive system. And what does each system consist of? Super. Each system consists of many organs. Can anyone give me any example for any organ in our body? Yes, super, like the stomach, the heart, and so on. And what does each organ consist of? Super, each organ consists of many tissues. And what does each tissue consist of? Super, each tissue consists of many cells. So, which one now is considered as the building unit of the human body? Super, the cells are the building unit of the human body. Now, let's talk about the cell parts. Are you ready? Let's start. Which parts can you see inside the cell? Super, we can see many parts like the cytoplasm, nucleus, cell membrane, and organelles. Let's start with the cytoplasm. Can you describe it? Super, it is a gelatinous liquid or thick liquid which is located inside the cell. What about the nucleus? Where can I find the nucleus? Is it in the upper part of the cell? Is it in the lower part of the cell? Super, we can find the nucleus in the center of the cell. What about the cell membrane? Which part here represents the cell membrane? Super, the cell membrane, it is the part that surrounds the cell from the outside. What about the organelles? Did you hear this word before? The organelles means different tiny structures inside the cell. Each type has a special function. Let's talk about it. Look here in this picture. Is this picture represent the animal cell or the plant cell? Super, this picture represents the plant cell. And look here, which part covers the plant cell? Is it the cell membrane like the animal cell? Definitely no. The plant cell is covered by the cell wall. This cell wall is made of cellulose. And the plant cell also has the ability to make its own food because it contains organelles which are called chloroplasts. Repeat after me, chloroplasts. Inside each cell, we have different parts with different functions. Let's talk about it one by one. Number 1, the cell membrane. As we said before, can anyone describe the cell membrane? Super! It is the outer lining of the cell. Do you know its function? Super! Number 1, it protects the cell. Number 2, it controls the substance that can enter or leave the cell through selective permeability feature. So, from what we said, can anyone tell me what's the importance of the selective permeability feature? Think more. Super! The selective permeability means that the cell membrane allows some substance to enter the cell and prevent some substance from entering the cell according to the needs of the cell. Now, let's talk about the nucleus. Guys, where can I find the nucleus? Super, at the center of the cell. Okay, and what's the importance of the nucleus? If I told you that the nucleus inside the cell, like the brain inside your body, can you guess what is the function of the nucleus? Super! The nucleus controls the cell activities like formation of protein and cell division. What about the cytoplasm? Can anyone remind me what is the cytoplasm? Super! It's a gelatinous liquid which is found inside the cell. How it can help the cell? Super! It helps the other cell parts to float. What about the mitochondria? What's the function of the mitochondria? The mitochondria is considered as the powerhouse of the cell. It provides the cell with the energy by mixing the food of the cell with the oxygen to form the energy through the cellular respiration. Can anyone tell me what's the meaning of cellular respiration? Think more. Super! The cellular respiration, it is a process which takes place inside the mitochondria, where oxygen is used to obtain the chemical energy stored in the food to help the cells to make their functions. Let's talk about the endoplasmic reticulum. Do you know what are the functions of the endoplasmic reticulum? Super! The endoplasmic reticulum, it helps the cell to collect and transport the protein from the nucleus to all the parts of the cell to help it to grow and repair it. What about Golgi apparatus? Repeat after me. Golgi apparatus. Do you know its function? Super! The Golgi apparatus, it helps the cell in packing and transporting different materials between the cells and out of the cell. Now we are going to talk about the plant cell. Do you think that the plant cell have special parts in its body? Yes, the plant cells have special parts like the cell wall, chloroplast, and sap vacuole. Guys, let's start with the cell wall. Can anyone tell me what is the cell wall? Super. It is a rigid external material that surrounds the cell membrane of the plant cell. And in which cell can we find the cell wall? Super, in the plant cell only. Okay, can anyone tell me what's the function of the cell wall? Super boy, it surrounds the plant cell to give it a definite shape. What about the sap vacuole? Look here. What does it look like? Super, it looks like a large sac. Okay. And where can we find the sap vacuole? In plant cell only? Or animal cell only? Or both of them? Super, in plant cell only. Okay, and what about its function? Do you know its function? Super. It contains the nutrients, water, and waste material inside the plant cell. Let's talk about the chloroplasts. Guys, do you know what does the chloroplast look like? Super, it looks like a sac, okay, which have small granules inside it. Do you know what are these granules? Super, these granules are called chlorophyll. Repeat after me, chlorophyll. Do you know what's the function of the chlorophyll? Super, it absorbs the energy of sunlight for the plant to make its own food. Also, it gives the plant its green color. Guys, look here in this picture. Which cell can you see? Super, the animal cell. Okay, does it have vacuoles? Super, it has small vacuoles. Do you know what's the function of these vacuoles? Super, it contains nutrients, water, and waste material. Okay, I have another question. Does the animal cell have a definite shape? Definitely no. Do you know why? Super, because it doesn't have a cell wall. What about dogs and cats? Do you think that dogs and cats have a definite shape? Yes, super, they have a definite shape. Do you know why? Super, because they have bones inside their body. Also, some animals have a hard shell-like cover which is called exoskeleton that gives them the shapes such as some insects.